religious folk. And verse 10 says, but the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death. The man had blessed Jesus and called him from the grave. And the chief priest, not the little bitty priest, no, the chief priest, not the assistant priest, the chief priest. Both been in church forever. How can we kill him? How can we put him to death? He walking around and following Jesus, going where Jesus is going. And now folks looking at Lazarus, and that means if they're looking at Lazarus, they really see how Christians should walk, and they really see how Christians should talk. They really see the transformational power that's in God. That makes folk that ain't willing to live right feel a little uneasy. Folk that's stealing and lying and getting over on the church and living a crooked Christian life, they don't like that kind of stuff right there. And they say, how is it that we can put this man? They say they conspire. It says that they conspire together. How can we kill this Lazarus? This evidence of a miracle. This evidence of the power of God. How can we kill this Lazarus? Even in my position, the kind of mess that I come from, I can guarantee there was some cheap priests in the church dressed in little skirts with some nice perfume on. I know that used to be his hang up. Let's see if I can get him. If I can get him caught in some mess. There have been many great men of God that have allowed themselves to fall to temptation and kill their name. The Bible says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. But there are many great men of God that have fallen to a smile and a little flirt and they're looking kind of cute today. Thanks be to God, because if it was not for God, I'd be a wretch undone. And so all of your compliments, I give it right back to God. All of your things, I give it right back to God. And many of us have to understand that the enemy does not want us to live a transformed life, because things happen when people live transformed lives. There are folk that get over on the gospel and prosper off the gospel, but don't really have the gospel in their heart. They don't like Christians that talk about holiness. They don't like Christians that talk about righteousness. They'll talk about money and they'll talk about things, but when it comes to showing transformational power, they don't like to see those things. And the Bible says, it says that the chief priests, as you might have guessed, not everybody was happy with this amazing transformation in the life of Lazarus. Yes, we're talking about the same Lazarus who once was, but now is. He once was dead, but now is alive. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I once was blind, but now I see. They tried to kill this Lazarus who once was good googly goo. That statement right there almost caused somebody to shout out their seat, because they remember what they were, but they know what they are. Yes, I used to be that, but now I'm a child of God. I used to be a liar, but now I'm a child of God. I used to be promiscuous, but now I'm a child of God. I used to be a hater and a liar, but I'm now a child of God. I've been transformed. I've been changed. He picked me up, turned me around, and placed my feet on solid ground. You always wonder what happened to to Lazarus after being called to come out of the tomb, you always wonder what happened to Lazarus after Jesus spoke to the grave clothes and said, loose him and let him go. But the sad part is that the chief church folk in verse 10 despised the miracle that was on display by his life, and they conspired to kill him. I'm reminded of the words in the song, God favored me. They whispered, conspired, they told their lies, but God favored me. My character, my integrity, my faith in God, but he favored me. I will not fall, I will not bend, and I won't compromise because God, he favors me. I speak life, I speak prosperity, I speak good health, because no matter what anybody says, God favors, he favors me. In verse 11, it goes on and it says that the reason that the chief church folk wanted to kill him, because that by reason of him, because of Lazarus and the power that he displayed of the evidence of God, many wanted to kill him because many folk gave their lives to Christ and believed on him. See, that's what happens when we walk a transformed life. People turn to God and they believe in God in a real way. Lazarus had to go through so much hell from folk that was supposedly heaven bound. Did you hear what I said? He had to go through so much hell from folk that was supposedly heaven bound. When the folk saw the transformed life of Lazarus, that was all the evidence that was needed. Lazarus was what an attorney might call a star witness. Lazarus was what a card player might call an ace in the hole. Lazarus, say yeah, say yeah. When folks saw the new and transformed Lazarus, it says they believed, oh Jesus, you're walking around here and you're mad because church folk trying to kill you and other folks looking at you. But my view is, hit me with your best shot. Look at me, all you want. Yeah, I used to be a dopehead. Yeah, I used to smoke a bunch of pot. Yeah, I used to drink 8 balls. Now I smoke Jim Beam. I used to do it all. That's what I used to be. But thanks be to God. But now I'm star witness. I'm ace in the hole. I used to be. But now, look at me now. I'm blood washed. I used to be. But you'll grab your head back and say, but look at me now. Say yeah. Say yeah. Thank you. Well, look at me now. Yo, that's yourself on the chest, but look at me now. I know everything I used to be. But look at me now. Look at me now. You can't throw none of that in my face. Can't throw none of that in my face. Look at me now. I admit I was guilty. I admit I did it all. Even the stuff that I think you lied about, okay, I did that too. But